Thank you for watching WISD TV and welcome once again to the Greater Waco Advanced Manufacturing Academy. My name is Dale Caffey and we are so pleased to have two very special guests here at the Academy today, both with a background in industry trades. To my right is Larry Jeffus. He is an author, in fact, of one of the textbooks being used here at the Advanced Manufacturing Academy. And Robert Hawkins, he is actually a Waco native, lived in Waco for practically all of his life, and both of these men are members of the Texas Workforce Investment Council. And they're here to look at this academy, and we're going to find out why. First of all, Mr. Hawkins, talk a little bit about why you're here today and the purpose of your visit.
Well, it is the one of the mandates of the Workforce Investment Council is to try to find innovative programs, try to find programs that work, and tell about them. In effect, this to me is a cost-effective way of blending all the elements of industry and education together to, for the benefit of economic development and the community. And so we're here to observe this and to share it with others, because that is part of the role of the Workforce Investment Council. And we're very impressed with what we've seen with, you took an existing building and give it a new life. You've got all of the local business partners. They're dual credit. The students here can go on and get college credit for it and continue their education. It's a remarkable, cost-effective way of doing things, and it's what we need. It's what we need today. These are jobs that you can't send to the third world or export.
Well, I noticed as you were talking to some of the students earlier today, you were telling them some of your background. You have rocketry in your background, pipe fitting in your background, and you've been an instructor of the industrial trades for a long time. Why don't you just go over a little bit about what you shared with the students?
Well, I worked at Rocketdyne. We worked on rockets, and then later the General Dynamics, the F-111 and B-58, and actually the rubber plant many years ago. And those industries are gone now, replaced by others. But my trade is a high pressure, not a salesman, but a high pressure piping specialist. So I'm a journeyman pipe fitter, and additionally I a graduate of the New York State University with a bachelor degree in economics. And then for 30 years I taught and was a director at Texas State Technical Institute, and then taught economics at St. Edward's University. And then so it's education, technical education has always been my field. I've been on the Workforce Investment Council, or its previous incarnations, which started as the Job Training Council of Texas, since 1991. And I'm the dean of the council and been appointed by 5 governors, which I'm proud of that. And we have support of our governor now. We have support of the legislature, and we have a remarkable staff that works on this. And what's really exciting is to see innovative programs such as this. This can be a model. This can grow. This can really grow. It can help with economic development. On his tour today, the Council of Governments and the economic development people are interested in this too, because we see this as, the future. They always say location, location, location when you're trying to get an industry, but it's really education, education, education.
And Waco, of course, has a great location, and we're trying to beef up that workforce.
Yes, indeed. And then with BRIC, the Baylor research coming in, it's this can do nothing but complement that. And in 10 years, it's just real exciting to think what can happen with all of these things going together. TSTC, MCC, Baylor, and then the Waco School District and the industry all working together, moving in the same direction. It's going to be remarkable.
Well, Mr. Hawkins, we certainly appreciate you being here today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And we're going to turn now and talk to Larry Jeffus, who's also on the council and also is an author of textbooks. Why don't you first talk a little bit about your presentation you had at one of our classes today. We had a welding instructor in there teaching some techniques, and you came in and presented her with a textbook. It's right in front of us. Talk about this.
I went into your classroom and saw in the bookshelf one of my books. I have a number of them published in welding and related fields. And so I picked the book up without asking it. I wrote in the front of it, and I hope that wouldn't upset her. I autographed the book and said, "Great shop." It is. I wrote in your book. I hope you don't mind.
No problem.
Okay.
Thank you. Awesome. I have one of these too.
You too?
Yes, I
Give
do.
me the-
Tell them why you need that book. I love. I'm sorry. Can I hug him? I'm a hugger. That's cool.
and said, "Great shop." It is. This is a tremendous facility. In the last 6 years, I've been to 39 states. I just recently got back from a tour of facilities in eastern Canada, Quebec, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia, where I visited programs and visited programs throughout New England on this trip. And what I saw here in Waco rivals anything that I've seen at any other location in my travels. I've been impressed with the way the program operates. I like the way that students are treated like employees. One of the largest issues that we have in industry today is work ethics and a sense of responsibility. I once had a student that got fired. He came back to me and said, "I don't understand why I got fired. If I didn't go into work today, he's not paying me. What's the problem?" And I said, "Because he had work for you to do. He had a customer that expected to have the project you were on done today. And now he's got to hire somebody else or he's going to lose the contract." Oh, I didn't think of that. It's amazing, the need for that type of skill. And it is a skill, being able to work in an environment that's unlike anything else. And that's what I've been impressed. I really like that. And quite frankly, this is the first time I've seen that aspect here. When I was in high school a long time ago, I was sitting in the same place you are. I went through a welding program. I used my welding skills to work my way through college. I have a bachelor's degree, worked on my master's degree and PhD. I still earn more money with my tools, welding, than I do with anything else. In fact, as a teacher, it was a great hobby, but I had to do something else to make a living, and I welded. So in the summer and holidays and stuff, I welded. I kept a list of students that made over $100,000 a year. And it doesn't take long if you start your own business or you work in some of the piping trades to do that. Randy Zach called a few years ago and says, "You got to start a new list." And I said, "Okay, Randy." He said, "I made a little over $1 million last year." Where you want to be and where you want to go is up to you. Your destiny is yours, and you're in a trade and an occupation. The great thing is you can't pack it up and send it overseas. You can't take a bridge and say it needs to be repaired and ship it somewhere else to have it done. The skills you're learning here will always need to be here. I was just recently asked to write a curriculum on conflict resolution for a school in Erie, Pennsylvania. And they contacted me because I have that material in some of my textbooks. And so what they're getting into, you're doing here. What they're talking about, you're there. You're the leading edge. I should have had them just come down here, except that they pay me for those things, and I like that. No, it's been impressive with what you have going on. Being an author in textbooks, gives me an opportunity to get into a lot of schools and stop in and see what's going on, whether it's in Phoenix or Tucson or Chicago, Seattle, or through Oregon, and last year in Hawaii. So I see a lot, and what I've seen here, absolutely top shelf. Everyone in the community needs to be very proud of this. And where the students are going from here, as my colleague said, learn a skill. It's something that can't be exported. It's something that will be here in the community or in this area for a long time.
Well, you had a chance to visit with some of our students, and we're telling them that about your rod burning expertise and history in that, and all you've been able to do because you had that skill. What do you think about talking to some of the students that we have here in our first year of our program?
Well, I enjoy that. I like being able to talk with students because many years ago, a long time ago, I was in a class in high school, and I took welding. Got to be fairly efficient at it. Enjoyed it, and I went to work in the shipyard. And I welded in the shipyard and decided that I wanted to go off to college and work my way through college, working in an agricultural shop, in a factory, as a cannery, doing maintenance work, and worked in automotive repair. So I had a very broad spectrum. Graduated from college and started teaching. Well, teaching was a great hobby, but you had to do something else to make a living. And I could earn more money in the summer as a welder than I could the entire year as a teacher. I started out teaching at $3,500 a year. That tells you how long ago it was. But I could make more than that in the 3 months in the summer. So I've always welded. And I've taught welding at a number of colleges across the country. And I finished my career in Dallas, teaching at Eastfield College, part of the Dallas County Community College District. But what I was telling the students is what I have been able to do. I'm 2 courses short of my PhD. And I didn't do the big book report, the doctoral thesis, because I was busy writing books. I could make more money writing books than I could get a PhD. So, you know, I'm almost there, probably won't ever get there. But I have made a good living in welding. And I was telling the students that I own my own aircraft. It's a high-performance aircraft. It'll fly from here to the East Coast or the West Coast or up to the Canadian border in about 3.5 hours. It's a pretty hot little plane. I own several boats, a lake house, and my house and cars and sports car, and I don't owe anything. And I've been able to pay for all that through my skills as a welder. I've worked for all the branches of the service. I've worked for NATO. I've done specialty welding. And a lot of times it's problem solving. It's where they have something that's broken and they need fixed pretty quickly. And so welding has been a tremendous occupation for me. Recently I fabricated a tower for a windmill in Rockwall. And so I'm still active as a welder. I still have all my equipment and still have the scars and scratches and stuff from welding. But it has been a wonderful occupation, and I'm looking forward to seeing the young men and women coming out of this program and moving into the industry.
Very good. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Larry Jeffus, for being here today. We appreciate your involvement. And what are you going to take from this visit?
Well, we have a meeting in the Texas Workforce Investment Council as part of the governor's office. And when I have an opportunity to speak, I'm going to talk about this program and talk about what I've seen here and how I think this could be replicated. One of the real problems in technical education is that the equipment we need is state-of-the-art to train students the way we should. But in industry, they'll use it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In a school, we might only get 18 hours of use in an entire week. So the equipment becomes outdated. And where you have industry partners here that have provided the state-of-the-art materials and equipment, that really speaks well to the organization here in Waco and the principal and the superintendent and the people that have been involved with this, the business partners, to bring all that together. That's impressive. And we need to take that sense of working together to provide an opportunity for the young people here in Waco. We need to take that down and talk about that and see how this can be replicated across the state.
Very good. Thank you so much for being here today. Once again, this is Larry Jessuf, and this is Robert Hawkins with the Texas Workforce Investment Council. One final word from Mr. Hawkins. I know that you had a chance during break time, because they have a break time here. It's not to visit with some students, and I saw you engage with one of the students in particular, and your impressions of the students that we have here in the first year of the academy.
The students that I talk to are highly motivated. They have, they have the fire, and they're looking forward. They see down the road. They see that this is going to benefit them, and it's very interesting for a young person to do these things. Work with their hands, work with their brain, and in this case, they're really working with their heart.
Very good. Thank you once again, Robert Hawkins and Larry Jessuf, for visiting here today. Two members of the Texas Workforce Investment Council here at the Greater Waco Advanced Manufacturing Academy. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. My name is Dale Caffey at Waco ISD, where there are learners today, leaders tomorrow.